Yeah, Raphael, I've been speaking with Jason's neighbors this afternoon. They are not surprised that he acted so quickly and quite possibly saved many students' lives. Now, I'm told that Jason and his wife have 2 young children. They just had their baby last month. Now, obviously, we are not going to show the home where they live right now out of respect for their family. They're going through a very difficult time right now that we cannot imagine. But I do want to pull up a Facebook post that Jason's mother posted on Facebook just a little bit ago. She says Jason is out of surgery and doing well. He was shot 3 times, once in the abdomen, once in the hip, and once in the forearm. And to please pray for the other student that was also shot. Again, these neighbors here rooting for Jason. One neighbor telling me when he heard a 7th grade science teacher tackle the shooter, he knew it had to be Jason.
It's mind-boggling just to think that it even happened in your backyard, and then your neighbor's a hero, and it didn't surprise me that he would do something even though I don't know him that well. Just the conversations I've had with him. I live right here and, see him out in the yard, and he was rolling stumps the other day, and, I was going to ask him if he needed help, and it didn't look like he needed any help, but he's one of those guys that would do anything for anybody, and he proved it today.
I think Steve just said it right there. Jason proved today he would do anything for anyone. And once he's recovered, he's going to come back here to his friends and family, a hero. For now, reporting live, I'm Stephanie Wade. Back to you, Raphael.
Stephanie, thank you so much. The teacher who cares, the teacher who showed compassion, the teacher who showed courage. In the early minutes when this all happened at 9:06 here, law enforcement was right on spot. Kids were all evacuated to the high school a couple of miles away, and as you can imagine, parents were panicked. Our coverage still now continues with our own Katie Hines live at the high school with those reunions. Katie, fill us in.
Raphael, students I talked to today are sad, but they're also angry. Many of them participated in a walkout, a demonstration against gun violence in schools just a couple of months ago. Tonight we're learning the bravery, the quick thinking, and the great lengths they went to keep themselves safe. Police rushed to Noblesville High School this morning. Parents raced to pick up their students. A threat was made here minutes after the shooting at Noblesville West Middle School.
They just came over the intercom, and it was very scary to hear the code red, and everyone just ran.
These students have practiced an active shooter drill. They didn't think they'd have to use it.
We were being told, stay quiet, everything's okay. And people were crying, people were trying to get a hold of their parents. It was terrifying to go through.
Lydia Moody received a text from her daughter Josie. She was hiding in a closet.
2 texts that I sent. The first one was, "You're tiny, squeeze to the back." And the second was, "I'm sure this won't happen, but if it does and there's a shooter, play dead."
Freshman Kaylee Wolford Osborne graduated from Noblesville West last year. She heard about the shooting shortly before the code red at her own school.
I was devastated. I was more for the moment, I can't protect them there, but all I can do is comfort my friends. So it's just trying to stay calm, help my friends at first.
7th grader Cody Rankin was in class down the hall from where the shooting happened at the middle school.
We all had weapons, rake tools and shovels, because we were in a science room, and we had scissors. So we were ready to defend ourselves.
For parents tonight, there is relief and disbelief.
You don't think it's going to happen in your neighborhood, but I don't think it's completely sunk in yet.
And several parents that I talked to out here today are calling for changes to security. Some of the ideas they brought up: metal detectors, searches, and a possible stricter policy on backpacks. For now, we're live at the high school. Katie Hines. Raphael, back to you.
Katie, the call that no parent wants to receive. The suspect's name, it's all over social media. We will not be reporting that because the suspect is still a kid. If he gets transferred to adult court, then we'll see what happens in that matter, but he is still a kid. Still so many unanswered questions. How did he have possession of 2 guns? We may not know that for weeks or months. But in the meantime, Call 6 Investigates Paris LaBelle is live outside the suspect's home with the latest on this investigation now at 6. Paris, fill us in.
Raphael, about 5 minutes after that shooting happened, they were already looking into who the suspect was, and then about 30 minutes later, they had police vehicles here at the suspect's home and started going inside looking for pieces of evidence, among them the FBI, ATF, and state police trying to figure out exactly what may have led to the shooting. Now, we saw photographers from the FBI taking pictures of evidence. We saw a number of pieces of evidence also taken out there. But sources say one of the big pieces police will be focusing on is the student's digital footprint, things like Facebook and social media, as well as text messages he may have sent, to see if there may have been any possibility that he talked about this ahead of time or what may have led to it. State police brought their computer crimes van out here, and that's where they're able to look at some of that stuff on the scene and go through a phone, go through a computer, and see if there's any evidence there or something else that they may need to go back inside the house to find. Now, right now, police aren't telling us if they did find any evidence here that was useful to this case. They say it's an ongoing investigation and they just can't comment on it. We're going to stay here and try and get as much information. We did have a chance to talk to some of the neighbors, and they tell us that he lives here with his mom and dad, and he's a nice kid. They just didn't think anything like this could ever happen. Raphael?
Paris, thank you so much. Investigators are telling us that they want to get it right. They will release no information until the conclusion of their investigation. So what's next here? After the Memorial Day weekend, this school behind me will not reopen on Tuesday. It will reopen for counseling from 10 to 2, and then the district will determine what to do. And Erica, today, all of us in Indiana were reminded that we are not immune from what we've seen across the country in Texas and in Florida. Our coverage will continue as we get more information. That is the latest tonight from here in Noblesville as this story, Erica, continues to develop.
Yes, so many questions still need to be answered. Thank you, Raphael. And we still have much more to tell you about the school shooting and the aftermath. Still ahead, we talk with neighbors who couldn't believe the sight unfolding before their eyes today as police swarmed to Noblesville West.
And one downpour to show you. It's right over Vincennes in Knox County. There are some other showers and thunderstorms back to the southwest, but will they make it to central Indiana? We'll talk about rain and temps when we come back.
From the station working for you, this is RTV6 News at 6.
I was shaking in fear, and I was crying, and I was like, I don't want to die, and I hope that everyone's really okay, and I hope that no one gets hurt. And I was praying and hoping that the person that did get hurt, that they would survive through it, and I was hoping that I would get through it too.
Students in fear for their lives after a classmate walks into a science class at Noblesville West Middle School with 2 handguns and starts shooting. A teacher and student shot. The suspect is in custody. We continue our breaking news coverage of this frightening day in Noblesville. This shooting doesn't just impact the students, but the whole Noblesville community. Our TV6's Derek Thomas is live with what neighbors near the school are saying.
Erica, we were talking to a mother who was trembling when red lights were flashing and a helicopter landed. What a morning. Noblesville West Middle School is about 200 yards from Tara Blank's front door. She had a front row seat from her porch as the morning's events unfolded.
It was very scary for me just because I have no child in there, but I couldn't imagine as a parent having a child in there how a parent would feel, wondering if their child was okay, not knowing what was going on, not knowing how many, if was shot, who did the shooting, were the kids safe. But I was on my front porch, I was trembling.
73-year-old Russ A. Moore lives 5 houses down from Blank, and he can't believe that this type of gun violence happened here.
I was born and raised in the country. We all had shotguns that we went hunting with, but never dreamed of shooting a fellow. I don't know how you can get that mad at somebody.
Back at Tara's house, her 10-year-old daughter is imagining how one day she will attend Noblesville West Middle School.
I don't feel like I would have to worry about it another time, but if I would be worrying about it, it would be pretty scary to think about this happening again as soon as I'm in middle school.
I told Senator Joe Donnelly how Brianna felt.
Our children ought to be able to know that when they come across the street here onto this property, that as they go to school, they're safe. As they're on the property here studying and being with friends, that they're safe. And that when they go home, they're safe. That's the very least our kids ought to be able to expect of us.
Brianna has a 24-year-old big brother. He looked me in the eye and said, you know, Derek, these school shootings are becoming commonplace. Well, we sincerely hope not. Live in Noblesville, Derek Thomas, RTV6.
And late this afternoon, Governor Eric Holcomb arrived in Indianapolis off the nonstop flight between Paris and Indianapolis. The news of the school shooting broke mid-flight. The governor gave his first interview after the incident.
It's heartbreaking to even imagine what these students and teachers and faculty had to endure, which underscores just how important it is that we make sure that these schools and teachers and students have every resource conceivable. We have to make sure that all the resources are there so that they can prevent and respond.
Continuing coverage right now on the RTV6 app. We have more about the teacher who has been called a hero, shot 3 times while trying to stop the shooter. Plus the latest on the investigation into the suspect, including the FBI search at his home. That's on the RTV6 app and on the IndyChannel.com.
Absolutely packed at 16th and Georgetown today for Carb Day. That included a couple different concerts, Blues Traveler and Train just finishing up, kind of wrapping up the long day. TK and Dave will recap for you all that happened on the track. There was a lot happening there. Look at all of those folks. And of course, Sunday, the big day, looks dry. Just a small chance for a shower or thunderstorm on race day. 86 tomorrow. That's our best chance for showers and thunderstorms. More on that in a second. The all-time warmest Indianapolis 500, 93 degrees. We're predicting 91. Chance for a shower thunderstorm just 20%. And as we get to Memorial Day, 92 degrees, warmest temperature in the forecast. It's possible Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday all will be at 90 or more. Saturday rain chances as we go through the overnight, through the afternoon, early afternoon, you can see 40 to 50% chance we'll see showers and thunderstorms. Don't think the coverage will be all